Hello and welcome to Newsday. Now we begin with some developing news. Britain's Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, says he is ready and willing to put UK troops on the ground in Ukraine as part of a possible peace process. Sir Keir wrote in the Daily Telegraph, "I feel very deeply the responsibility that comes with potentially putting British servicemen and women in harm's way. But any role in helping to guarantee Ukraine's security is helping to guarantee the security of our continent and the security of this country." He said British troops could be deployed alongside soldiers from other European nations along the border between Ukrainian and Russian-held territory, ahead of an emergency meeting of European leaders in Paris on Monday. Sir Keir argues that Europe faces a once-in-a-generation moment for the collective security of our continent, and it is existential for Europe as a whole. Let's get more on this developing story. Standing by in our London newsroom is our correspondent, Thomas Magill. Thomas, good to speak to you. Do we know any more about what this could mean?
Well, this is certainly a tougher line than we have heard before from the UK government. And as you say, Sir Keir Starmer was writing in the British newspaper, the Daily Telegraph, when he said that he'd be prepared to put British troops on the ground if necessary as part of a peace-saving settlement. And he said that that he would be prepared, along with EU forces who could be deployed to the border between Ukraine and Russian-held territory. And this tougher new line from the UK has not been lost on Sir Keir Starmer. The article also says that he does not take it lightly, and writing, he said, "I feel very deeply the responsibility that comes with potentially putting British servicemen and women in harm's way." Now, previously, he had said that British troops could be involved in some sort of safeguarding process or settlement deal with the UK as part of a ceasefire. So we're beginning to learn a little bit more about what that might mean. But there are still many unanswered questions. How many troops, where they'd be deployed, and when would they be deployed? And I think EU leaders will have all those questions for Sir Keir Starmer at this emergency summit, which is due to start later today in Paris, organised by President Macron. He's invited a host of EU leaders to Paris in order to have a discussion feeling very locked out of negotiations that's taking place between the US and Russia in Saudi Arabia about the future of Ukraine. Also, just another note, President Trump will meet with Sir Keir Starmer in the next fortnight, and he has said that a US security guarantee is essential to lasting peace in Ukraine. So in the next coming days and weeks, there's lots of world leaders having summits and holding negotiations and talks. And whilst all that takes place, the war in Ukraine continues.